great honor and pleasure to be sitting with these wonderful men and women representing the Asian communities in the local church of the United States of America. Thank you to my brother Bishop Larry Silva and the Subcommittee on Asian Pacific Affairs for putting up this wonderful moment for the Asian Pacific Islander communities in the United States in order to come out from the shadow. To come out from the shadow in order to be recognized that we are part of the church in the United States. We have come a long way. When I say coming out of the shadow, I never thought that a group of Asians gathered like this could really voice out the deepest sentiments that come from their heart. That we are Catholics, that we belong to the church, that we are the church. What a beautiful grace moment in order to manifest the gift of the Asian Pacific culture in the way we express our own faith in every facets of our lives in various communities that we belong to. I am so gratified being a bishop in the United States for 20 years. I came to the United States in 1984. I think I was 2 years old then. I'm just kidding. And I feel myself young together with you because I'm celebrating my second childhood. I'm 70 years old, so after so many years, 40 years in the United States, I have tremendous experience of what it means to be a migrant, an immigrant in the United States. I was blessed to be able to experience diversity when I first came to the United States, and my first experience of Paris life in New Jersey. I was assigned in Paris, that's an Italian Paris, La Chiesa di San Rocco, where 50% are Cubans, where I learned how to eat arroz con gris e yuca, and also Puerto Ricans. It is a great immersion for me to see different kind of people and how they express and manifest their faith. After 4 years, you know, a typical Asian, I hate snow and cold weather. I like heat, humidity. I want to perspire so that I know I am alive. Because only the people don't perspire. And so I moved to Louisiana for 15 years. A different culture, still the church. And after enjoying 15 years of Paris life in Louisiana, I was punished. And I was made auxiliary bishop and sent to Los Angeles, California. There's a saying that God comforts the afflicted, and He afflicts the comfortable. So when you feel comfortable now, beware. You know, God's sense of humor, aha. So go to, and then it's a beautiful manifestation of God's love. I was immersed in the deep cultural environment, being the director of the ethnic communities in LA for 5 years, getting to know every cultural group. I believe there are between 35 to 40 language groups in the Archdiocese of Los Angeles. And that's where I learned how wide the tent of the Universal Catholic Church. It encompasses every cultural group, language, culture, and all traditions and values. These are the richness. The diversity reflects the richness of our Catholic Church. And culture creates a pathway in order to express our encounter and engagement with God, with one another, and with nature. And that is why culture is very essential in the mission of evangelization. Grace thrives in culture. And in culture, grace bears fruit. So our expression is a pathway not only to engage ourselves with Christ, but it's a pathway to share the good news with others. And the beautiful thing about it is that we are not just expressing faith. faith that lives and thrives in our own cultural makeup. Think about what we have heard today, the richness that comes from our own individual and respective cultures. The mix and match that Father Hmongoose mentioned in his talk. The mix and match expresses the kind of not only fusion, the integration of such essence that creates a harmonious landscape and wholeness. So we can see harmony in every culture that Asia represents. And it speaks of what the gospel is all about. It's dynamic. And the good thing about faith expression is that the process of engagement, of sharing, defines who we are as Catholics. We are meant to share the good news to one another, to share our faith to each other and to the greater church. It is a call to evangelization. Our cultural expression and engagement, think about it. It's actually what it means to evangelize. Utilizing the quintessence of who we are, of our being as Asians. You know, as what they said, Father Lin said that this even food is a part of culture, and food is a blessing. It reminds us that grace is diffusive. It is something that cannot be kept for ourselves. In His divine plan, I always tell people, in His mysterious ways, God has created our hearts, not as storage bins of blessings, but as distribution center of God's grace. It has to be shared, otherwise grace is dead. So we see here, hearing from each other, the power of culture. When culture is withheld, the gospel is veiled. But if culture is manifested, expressed, and shared, it shows the power of God's grace and God's word. It changes heart, and it transforms others. That is what it means by evangelization. So I hope that Asians should not be meek, humble, but rather have the humility to be able to stand tall and share our gifts. The gift of culture is the expression and manifestation of the essence of our being as Catholics, as people who believe in God. And that's why our Holy Father, I remembered him, when he was with some migrants in Rome. He exhorted all those people, especially the Filipinos, whom he labeled as smugglers of the faith. And he told them, don't be embarrassed of your culture. Don't be embarrassed of who you are. Share it. Share it with joy and enthusiasm. That made me proud to be an Asian in the American Church in the United States of America, like each and every one of you. Thank you for being partners in the mission of evangelization.